The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is a Star Wars series released on Disney+. This show is incredibly hyped up on Disney+, and when it came out, people were rather disappointed. People said it was silly, obnoxious, they think it was underwhelming in some parts, and lazy writing. People just non-stop complained about it. But here's the thing. I think that's when people looked at it in retrospect, because when this show was coming out, people were looking at it like, this is going to be great. Ian McGregor's coming back. He's going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi for one more time. And when people watched this, they hyped it up. But then when it came out, people were like, okay, this is good. But then they looked back at it in retrospect and they were like, yeah, this is good. They expected more than it just to be good. They expected it to be amazing. They expected it to be out of this world, and that's just not what they got, and they were disappointed. For me, at least, I love this, and I'll explain why. And I'll explain probably why I have a different opinion than a lot of the other people who are a little bit older than me, because a lot of the people that I've seen talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show in retrospect, and like just talking about the series and their thoughts about it, grew up when the prequels came out. Like Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace. They mostly grew up around that time, so seeing this show and not liking how they handled the characters that they grew up with, that's going to disappoint them a little bit. For me, I didn't grow up in the prequels. I grew up with the sequels. So, not a lot's happening here. But so that is going to make me have a different bias on Star Wars, because I'm growing up with these shows. I'm growing up with these movies. The sequels, Han's, the solo story, whatever. I'm growing up with different stories than what most of the people are, so I'm going to have different thoughts about it. So, let's just go ahead and dive in. So this series takes Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's after Order 66, but it's not so far that it's A New Hope. He's a little bit older, but he's not so old that he's like, New Hope old. And Princess Leia's in trouble. But Princess Leia here is a kid. And I think this is where people's complaints start. It's because they think that, because some of the things that happen with Leia, like her getting captured, they think that's goofy. And there's a lot of goofy moments in this show that are kind of just like done in passing to get to point A to point B that are a little bit goofy in some parts. But I think if you're able to look past this and just enjoy the series, then you'll still have fun with it, but ignore how they actually got there. But yeah, so, and then we have the Inquisitors, which are fun. I did have a complaint about the show, though, is that the Inquisitors were, like, kind of lame, and also one of them kind of just got, like, stabbed and, like, just didn't die. Because, Star Wars is trying to, like, keep all their IP in one basket without killing them off. And that's kind of the interesting thing with Star Wars, because their IP can survive as long as they want to, because they can keep on doing prequels. Because we've already set that universe, and we already have a big gap of time between two separate times. So, they can basically just do whatever. Even if their character is killed off, they can still do stuff with that character. So it's like an interesting position that Star Wars is in that not a lot of franchises are really in. So yeah, guys, I definitely did enjoy this show. I loved seeing this version of Obi-Wan Kenobi back. I enjoyed seeing this era of Star Wars because the prequels are my most favorite era of Star Wars. I freaking love the prequels. And I get why people love A New Hope and all those, but I do think that this era of Star Wars is my favorite. And the prequels, a little after the prequels, is definitely my favorite. Because that's what I'm growing up with as a Star Wars fan. So yeah, I definitely love this show. I love seeing all the original actors back. I liked seeing Obi-Wan and Darth Vader face off. A new adventure. Definitely for me, my most favorite Star Wars show. Live action, that is. If you enjoyed this video or any of my other content, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.